Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/citizenho. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Hello there.
Hola.
And welcome to Citizen Ho. I'm Scott.
I'm Kevin.
And here's the news.
We don't just do news.
Oh, shit.
It's not a news
Wrong show. Sorry, we're going to check our other podcast, the Citizen Ho News Hour.
No.
Where we do our impressions of Don Lemon and Wolf Blitzer.
Don Lemon and Wolf Blitzer.
We're the two first news guys I can think of.
Edward R. Murrow, Walter Cronkite.
Okay, the first two news... Is Walter Cronkite dead?
Yes.
Okay, the first two news guys I thought of that aren't dead.
Tom Brokaw, Dan Rather.
Dan Rather's retired. He's basically dead.
He's not that retired. He's been pretty active on Facebook the last
but he's not
year.
Yeah. So, let's get into it. Been kind of a quiet news week this week.
Oh, no, nothing happened at all. Russia, Trump.
We'll call it
fired Comey.
We'll call it Trussiagate.
Came out that Trump asked Comey to drop the Russia investigation and not to investigate Flynn. Although Trump denies all that flatly. So
he has no choice but to deny it. Here's the thing, though. If it's true, it's the end of Trump.
Maybe.
Depending on what the Republicans in Congress will do.
Yeah.
If it comes out...
The one thing that I heard that I find interesting is that, they say every president has always had to deal with, information being leaked out to the press. That's
but not like
new.
this.
But the amount of information that is getting leaked out of the Trump White House is
They said
phenomenal.
Sometimes you'll hear from one or two staffers a little passing information. Now it's like every staffer is coming out and giving us information.
Yeah. And I kind of wonder why exactly that is. I have a suspicion.
Okay, here's Kevin's theory on Trump leakage.
Trump leakage? That just sounds wrong. And way too many.
What sounds wrong? Trump leakage or President Trump? What sounds more wrong?
President Trump leakage? How about that?
Okay.
No, my theory is the Republicans on the surface have all they're all, oh yes, we're behind the president, we support him, yada, yada, yada. But we know that they were, especially the establishment Republicans, were not fans of his. And then yet he brought in establishment Republicans as part of his White House. He has what is it, Reince Priebus as his chief of staff.
Evil jackass number one, I call him.
Whatever.
Yeah, he was the chairman. Well, some of it might have been forced on him by the party, I guess.
Maybe
say, we'll give you the party support if you do this, this, and this.
Right. But something tells me that they figured he wasn't going to win anyway. Then when he won, they said, all right, this guy's a jackass, but we have to at least on the surface support him. But I wouldn't be surprised if the leaks are actually coming from Republican Party people.
Well, they have to be. The White House is Republican.
Well, that's true too. But I wouldn't be surprised if the party itself is orchestrating this to some degree.
I mean, this is getting to be Nixonian in a way.
To some degree, but I think
look,
that is also blowing that out of proportion.
Granted,
a little bit.
The thing also that I'm saying is it's very hard to ascertain things in this day and age of social media.
Yeah, well,
I try not to say like my parents, for example, post articles from
Occupy Democrats.
Exactly. I consider my main news sources CNN, New York Times, Washington Post.
Yeah, and most Republicans, and especially Trump supporters, will tell you that those are all not. Those
are liberal media.
It's liberal media. It's liberal media, and they're slanting the story. But then that's what all news media does.
Yeah,
that.
But then I turned on Fox News yesterday because I was just seeing the Tucker Carlson was on.
Yeah,
guy's a jackass.
Yeah, okay, and
he's sitting there basically him and Hannity basically just defend Trump.
Yeah, well, so does Janine Pirro. So
Yeah.
it seems like a lot of times when I end up at my parents' apartment, like Janine Pirro is on.
They're Fox News people.
Yes.
Did they vote for him?
They may have. I honestly don't know, and I don't ask. And they generally won't tell you who they voted for anyway. They say that's my business.
What do they feel about his current situation?
I think, well, on the one hand, they do think that there's a lot of things that he has not handled very well. Like, though they didn't think that he handled the Comey firing very well, but they did say he has every right to fire Comey if he wants to.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
Which is true, but you don't fire the guy who's the head of the investigation on top of you. That looks very suspicious.
Yeah, well, that's the issue.
And then to come out and say that...
But their impression, and I didn't even get into this argument because I just didn't feel like having that discussion, but they were saying, all the liberals are saying that it's unconstitutional for him to fire the FBI director. I didn't see anything like that. I just saw...
They said the timing was very suspect.
Yeah, that the timing is suspect, and that the fact that he fired somebody who was in the middle of really investigating him and his campaign. So it looks suspicious, and it looks like
it's like the Saturday Night Massacre in the 70s.
Yeah, it looks like he's out to try and squash this investigation.
They need to take his.
The funny thing is that supposedly he bragged to the Russians that, I fired that clown or that nut job. Yeah,
it's just
which just looks even worse.
And then to say, Comey better hope there are no tapes of our conversations.
Yeah, that was odd. But then again, I expect nothing less from Trump now.
Like, he actually went 24 hours without a weird Twitter thing after the whole Comey memo came out.
Yeah. Oh, 24 hours.
Hey, for him, that's like a month.
Yeah, well, ugh. But now apparently Comey's going to testify before Congress
after Memorial Day.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
An open session.
Which means what? Just that the press is there?
An open session means it's open to the public. The public has the right to go in. A closed session means it's secure. It's closed to members of Congress only.
Okay. Yeah.
The thing that I understand about Comey is, look, the guy screwed up royally during the election. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
He should not have come.
Oh, my parents were also saying, Comey was for Hillary, so Trump has every right to. They also said that as a justification for firing him. It's like, if he was for Hillary, he did a pretty poor job of it. He contributed to her losing the election to some degree.
Comey may have been an Obama appointee, but he tended to be a fairly conservative person.
Yeah, well, I think he's a member of the Republican Party.
Yeah, the head of the FBI is not supposed to be a political appointee. It's supposed to be the right person for the job.
Yeah, well, supposedly Trump wants to appoint Joe Lieberman. That's interesting.
Well, what people say is you should not have a career politician leading the FBI.
Okay.
Comey was the deputy attorney general for George W. Bush also.
Yeah. He has a Republican history.
Yeah.
So I don't know how he could be for Hillary.
If he did, I think he hurt her chances.
Yeah. No, he definitely did. I mean, he's not the sole reason she lost the election, but he
contributed.
Help. Yeah.
The main reason she lost the election is she was the wrong candidate.
She didn't handle the email thing well at all.
No. And the Rust Belt.
Yeah, well.
Though they're like, where are my jobs? Where are my jobs?
Yeah.
I think Ford just said it's closing, laying off 19,000 people.
That was a fun conversation with my father once too. Is that he said, he basically said that Trump wanted to do what Hillary was talking about, which was, basically help to retrain people to get jobs that apply in the new economy. And I was like, that's what Hillary was talking about, number one. Mm. And number two, Trump has been talking about basically bringing back the old manufacturing jobs, and those ain't coming back. Yeah. It's like, oh no, Trump understands all this. I'm no, I don't think he does.
Trump doesn't even pay for his own manufacturing jobs.
He doesn't have any manufacturing jobs.
I'm talking about the people, the contractors that he stiffed over the...
That's not manufacturing, that's just construction.
For that reason alone, you figured your dad would be against him.
Though that's the funny thing is I remember back in the 80s, he used to always, like, you heard about Trump on the news, and the one thing that he always said is he was always stiffing his contractors.
I'm sure your dad's been stiffed on jobs over the years.
Yeah. No, he's dealt with many a lawsuit.
So, and now apparently Bob Mueller, is that his name?
Mueller, I think.
Yeah. He's the former head of the FBI, who's basically...
He's the special counsel.
Special counsel to investigate the Trump-Russia ties. And apparently he's as straight of an arrow as you... It was like the perfect person to pick.
Yeah.
Both sides of the aisle are very happy with his pick.
Yeah, which I find it interesting though that he's appointed by the deputy attorney general. So basically, he's still a political appointee.
However,
he's the
deputy attorney general is pissed off right now.
Okay, why?
Because Trump had him write a memo on why he should justify firing Comey.
Yeah,
and then basically he said it had nothing to do with the memo. He basically said it was Russia.
Well, he said it was Russia. He said it had to do... Well, no, he didn't say it was Russia. He said it had to do with how Comey handled the Hillary thing.
No, but on the interview... Did you see the interview with Don Lemon?
No.
Yeah. On the interview with Don Lemon, they were talking about the James Comey firing. It's like, I heard Trump, Russia, this guy's got to go. Basically is what Trump said in an interview. He basically said he fired Comey because of the Russian investigation.
He's had like 4 different stories about why he fired Comey.
Exactly.
He's all over the place.
That's the reason I'm thinking the 25th Amendment might be more applicable than impeachment.
Yeah, but
that'll never happen.
It's not going to happen.
For those of you who don't know, there's 3 ways to remove a president from office.
1, death.
1 is death. 2 is impeachment. Impeachment, for those of you who don't know, basically are charges brought up by Congress against the president.
Well, and let's be clear, because everybody gets confused.
There's articles of impeachment. And
there's impeachment, and then there's actually removing the president from office after he's been impeached.
This happened in 99, I think it was, or 98.
99, I think it was.
Bill Clinton
was impeached but he was
by the
not
House of
removed
Representatives, which means the majority of the House of Representatives voted to approve 4 articles of impeachment out of, I think it was 7.
Yeah, something like that. Then
2 of them were thrown out.
Yeah, then there was a hearing to remove him from office.
Basically, the Senate votes to remove the president with the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court as the judge in the trial, for lack of better terms. Clinton was acquitted on both charges.
Yes.
So that's how the impeachment process works. For our non-legal minds, pretty basic. The 25th Amendment is kind of a little more obscure. It details the succession of the line of presidency, president, vice president. This came up with... Who was the president that was assassinated? Assassination attempt, was it? He was in a coma for 3 months.
Oh, this is before Nixon. That.
I think it was in
I forget who it was.
But Johnson or Jefferson? I don't know. There's been so many Johnsons and Jeffersons, it's hard to know.
It's been 1 Jefferson.
Oh, there's like 2 Johnsons and 3 Jacksons or something like that.
Andrew
Johnson, Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Johnson and Andrew Jackson. Lyndon Johnson.
There's another Jackson. It's 2 Adams and 2 Bushes.
Yeah, well, there's John Quincy Adams and John Adams.
George Bush and George Bush.
Yeah.
Who did Charles Guiteau assassinate attempt?
I have no idea.
We'll look this up.
Does she have to look up?
I just want to remember which president it was. I think it was Madison for some reason. No, it was later than that. Charlie Guiteau.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wikipedia. Charles Guiteau. Garfield. That's it.
Okay.
Garfield was after the assassination, somebody was in a coma for 3 months. So Congress created the 25th Amendment. It details what happens if the president is the line of succession. Because there was no
if the president is incapable of fulfilling the duties of his office.
So it becomes president, vice president, and then members of the cabinet. The order in that switched a little bit, but it's president, vice president, speaker of the House, then I think secretary of state after that, right?
It sounds about right.
And then there's a line of order. But also in the 25th Amendment is a way for the cabinet to declare the president unfit for office. Example of the last time the 25th Amendment was enacted is when George W. Bush had polyps removed during a colonoscopy.
Yeah, and Cheney was briefly the president.
Cheney was basically the president for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But the 25th Amendment can be used theoretically if they do not feel the president is mentally fit to execute the office of president.
Yes.
However,
the vice president has to declare
the vice president, the majority of the cabinet has to write a letter to the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate, basically saying is, "Dear Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, this guy got to go." The Senate has to approve. They have to accept the letters, and then to overturn it, the president, the vice, they have to write a letter saying we're recharging it, or I think it has to be a 2/3 vote of both the Senate and the House to restore the president.
Yeah, and I think the biggest problem with all this, though, is that
it's his cabinet and his vice president.
Yes, but on top of that is if any of this were to happen, if for any reason he was removed from office, his supporters don't believe any of this, and there's gonna be an uprising.
Why would they? He's been writing the media the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. So now
the only thing is here's one thing I was thinking about last night. Could we be looking at this in a complete wrong way?
Meaning?
He's smarter than all of us. He's planning all this to come out, and he's perfectly clean to set up a conspiracy against himself, which has no merit, to gain himself full support.
I mean, that's always that's to some degree a possibility. That's part of that's another of my father's theories, is that Trump is actually a really smart guy. He understands all this a lot more than anybody else, and that's why we all think he's crazy, because he's just so intelligent that he can't articulate what he's thinking well.
I just lost a lot of respect for your father. Just FYI.
Well,
granted, I've lost a lot of respect for my father too in the last couple of months, but that's all different.
So just for the complete opposite reason, basically.
What I've been starting to do is when people put really bad things on Facebook that are really political, I just start correcting their grammar and comments.
I don't even get into it.
There's that one guy that comments on everything my dad does, and I just...
Oh yeah, him. I see those. The two of them argue about...
However, when I write something, I make sure I do my homework. I write well thought out arguments. And I try not to come off as antagonistic.
Yeah, but people still act like idiots, so...
But the moral of the story is...
Don't be an idiot?
Right now, Donald Trump is the president of the United States.
Yes.
It could change.
For how long? We're not always so sure.
Well,
but
the thing that I was heard about Mueller is don't expect anything until he's all done with his investigation.
Yeah, well, he will probably keep his mouth shut until he knows.
Well, you know how the whole Paula Jones thing started and Monica Lewinsky, right? It was Whitewater.
Yeah.
Kenneth Starr was brought in to investigate Whitewater.
Yeah, and then he found this, and
he's a religious nutbag and went after the president, who was accused of getting a blowjob in the Oval Office by a man who was actively cheating on his wife, Newt Gingrich.
Yeah. Well, that was another fun aspect of all that. Although Gingrich having an affair with his wife didn't come out until later, but...
You just wrote me. Yeah. Oh, wanna cry. More stuff about that.
What?
The ransomware.
Oh.
There's just a CNET alert. You heard about that, right?
A little bit.
Well, I've been dealing with a lot of ransomware attacks with my customers lately.
Oh, fun.
Where the problem is for my office, I do the network administration. I make sure I back up all of my important documents and my backups are up to date. Once a week, I check my backups. I make sure they're valid. Stuff like that. Because I've had customers, they get hit with ransomware. They don't have backups off-site.
Yeah,
they're like, "Oh, fix it." I'm like, how?
Yeah. What? Pay these guys $20,000?
I told customers, your only option is to pay if you don't have anything. I can't do anything. I had customers that had to pay it. It's usually about $1,500.
Oh.
The other, but this took down the England's National Health Service.
Oy.
People couldn't go to the ER.
Yeah, that would be bad.
You would think they would have a paper backup.
You'd think they would have some kind of backup.
For those of you who don't know what ransomware is ransomware basically is a hack. It's not really a virus per se. Basically, someone gets into your network and encrypts your files so you can't access them. And the only way to access them is either restore from a backup or pay the ransom.
Right.
And they're using Bitcoin to make it untraceable.
Ooh, cute. Bitcoin, so much fun.
You know, one Bitcoin is $12,000 or something ridiculous like that.
Really?
The exchange rate is crazy.
Is it that? Damn.
Bitcoin is the internet's currency.
Yeah, well, it seems like it's more the dark internet's currency because I don't see it used too many other places. I know of it. I've
seen a couple of e-commerce sites that use it.
Okay.
I don't have any money in there.
Me either, but
I try to use PayPal as much as possible when I pay for stuff because I've had my account hit a couple of times. So at least I know if I'm doing it through PayPal, my financial information is not being transferred, especially if it's a third-party site that I haven't shopped with before. Like Amazon, I don't care about. Amazon, if it was like Kevin's Discount Lube or something like that. I don't know why I just...
I have no idea. There is no site that I'm in any way associated with called Kevin's Discount Lube. I can tell you that much.
I want to do a Google search right now. I won't. I think Kevin's going to.
Fine, I'm going to. Because, we have to look this up. This is important shit.
Part of me is kind of expecting it to actually exist.
Kevin's Discount
Lube.
Let's see.
Survey says...
Well, there's kevincycle.com, which has a section for tires, tubes, and I guess lubrication. They have a discount center.
Close enough.
But no, I don't see any. I don't see kevinsdiscountlube.com.
Well, we should buy that.
Oh, God.
I have issues.
Well, we knew that.
Anything else going on in our wonderful world? Trump's in Saudi Arabia right now, I think.
Yes. He landed this morning, I think. And yeah. Oh, well, yeah, the plumbing
saga.
Permit saga. So, yeah, we finally got a hold of the contractor who had been dark on us for like 2.5 weeks.
Bastard.
Apparently he was out of the country or something. But, now the electrical permit, which also had to get filed, supposedly was filed yesterday. The plumbing permit was filed earlier last week. So now it's just a matter of when the city closes them out.
How long does that take?
I don't know. But at least we're moving in the right direction.
When they take your deposit, do they put it into an interest-bearing escrow account?
I don't know if it's interest-bearing.
Like a security deposit.
They do put it into escrow, as far as I know. So, and I know
it hasn't been.
I got my move-in deposit back.
What?
I did get my move-in deposit back, and they mailed me a check for the deposit, and I took that and put it back in my bank account, and all was done.
Pissed off any neighbors yet?
No, not that I know of. If I have, I have.
Oh, did you run into the board president and?
Ironically, I ran into her this morning. This morning.
Is she Shomer Shabbos?
Yes.
So you couldn't.
She's Orthodox, so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna.
Did you just say hi?
I said hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, how are you? And then, and I'm thinking like, I want to tell her about this, but it's like, wait, she's Shomer Shabbos. I probably shouldn't bring this up right now.
Yeah. Wait, did you have Max with you? Did he wave?
We had Max with us. We were on our way out to get breakfast.
Breakfast. Hartford.
And she was talking with with this other couple that lives in the building who I've run into a few times. And ironically, we ran into that same couple on our way back from breakfast.
Breakfast come and go. But Hartford, the Well, they beat Vancouver once, maybe twice a lifetime.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, Brody.
By the way, when we got home after recording our last episode, there was like a Kevin Smith marathon on Stars. I came in, I turned on TV, like Chasing Amy was just ending and Clerks was just starting.
Going from Chasing Amy to Clerks?
It was in like a loop.
Okay. Oh, so what? It was just the original 3 of the Askew
No,
universe?
it was they had Clerks 2 going on. They weren't in order.
Oh.
The only one they weren't showing was Dogma. It was Clerks 2, Chasing Amy, and Mallrats.
Clerks 2,
and Jay and Silent Bob.
Okay. I mean, Dogma's not really in the Askew universe.
Yes, it is.
It sort of is, but it's only marginally connected.
Jay
Plus,
and
also
Bob.
the religious aspect of Dogma probably means they avoid showing it as
Dogma
much
was
as...
the first one I ever saw. You showed that to me.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's the first one you saw.
Yeah, it's not the first one I ever saw.
That was Dogma?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that's why it's my favorite of his. Though I really do like Clerks.
Yeah, Mallrats was the first one I saw. I think.
The funny thing is Mallrats tanked at the box office.
Yeah, because nobody knew what to make of it, and the studio didn't know how to market it.
If it came out today, I think it would do better.
Maybe. I don't know. There was talk of him making a Mallrats too.
Yeah, so what happened with that was he talked about it on a podcast.
Okay.
The rights to Mallrats is owned by Sony, I want to say.
Okay.
And basically there were 3 ways to make it. Like Sony would have to give them the rights to it, but Sony's never released their catalog in the history of the movie. Sony would have to co-finance it, or they would have to produce it. So they tried turning it into a TV series, and they couldn't get any takers on it.
Okay. Yeah, the TV series talk sounds familiar.
Right now, he's working on a movie called Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Okay. I know he was also working on a Clerks 3 script.
Yeah, Jeff didn't want to do it.
Oh.
They were about to start shooting, and Jeff backed out.
Really? It was that close, huh?
Yeah.
Can't have Clerks without Randall.
No. But Jay and Silent Bob Reboot is going to kind of make fun of all the reboots going on.
Yeah.
The concept is basically it's a reboot. It's a rehash of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. They're going to make a movie called Bluntman V Chronic.
Yeah. Okay.
I know you don't love Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. It's just
I thought it was I thought it was stupid.
It was stupid.
I know. The thing was that I felt that even though Mallrats is kind of stupid, but there was a cerebral aspect to the earlier films that wasn't there in Jay and
Silent Bob was just a 2-hour-long dick and fart joke.
Yeah, basically, and that's why I just didn't find it that interesting. It didn't have that cerebral aspect. It didn't have the
conversation about the independent contractors on the Death Star.
It didn't have the all the heavy dialogue that that I was used to for Kevin Smith movies.
Chasing Amy is probably his best film.
Yeah, probably. Well, that's the one he went back to doing low budget, so and it worked.
Dogma wasn't very high budget. A lot of the actors there took. Well, I mean that was
Dogma.
before.
I didn't dislike Dogma. I do find it a little bit preachy, but
at the same time, it doesn't tell you to go on and be Catholic. It just says the Selma Hayek's character says they're the best. No one religion's got it right. It doesn't matter what you believe in. It just matters just as long as you believe.
It's not what you have faith in. It's just that you have faith.
Which is the moral of that movie.
Yeah, but that's being preachy.
I don't know.
Being preachy for what is another story, but there's a preachy aspect to it.
Yeah. Plus, Alan Rickman as the angel was
Metatron.
the greatest role ever.
Oh, he was good. I love when he takes her to the Mexican place.
And she wakes up and pulls out the
maracas.
Maracas from the pillow. Good movies. I actually thought Clerks 2 was really funny. It had the stupidity of Jay and Silent Bob with the deep dialogue.
Yeah. It was... Clerks 2 was okay.
I don't think I've ever laughed as hard in the theater as I did during the donkey show scene.
No.
See, you're laughing right now just thinking of it.
Yeah, well, because that was just messed up.
Okay, the thing I didn't like about Clerks 2 was the whole dancing scene. I thought that was a little contrite.
I mean, it was stupid, but...
And Rosario Dawson was just great in that movie.
Yeah, she was good. I like the scene in jail at the end.
Well, we're we got money.
Well, yeah, just that whole scene.
What are they doing out there? I just heard something explode.
I don't know. Max threw something.
Then I heard, Max, no.
Yeah, there you go.
So, Kev, if Max breaks stuff in my house, are you going to pay for it?
It depends what he breaks.
But do you know how you could pay for it?
I could pay for. Well, I can get our viewers to help me pay for it by going to www.audibletrial.com/citizenho, where you can sign up for a free 30-day trial account and get a free audiobook download. There are thousands upon thousands of titles to choose from, such as
Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Good Lord.
Narrated by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I should hope so.
It's only a 3-hour and 41-minute audiobook telling you about the nature of the universe. It is in a hurry.
Yeah, exactly. It's for people in a hurry. So 3 hours and 41 minutes, you can't be in that much of a hurry if you're going to listen. You're going to spend that much time.
That's like one of my trips into the city lately.
Oh, it's not that bad. Maybe delayed, maybe more delayed than you would like, but it ain't taking you 3.5 hours.
I took a 5:41 train home on Thursday because we had to be somewhere early. We got there half an hour late because of the train delays. And we left to get there on time. They've been awful lately.
Yeah, well, that's because with all that, I saw something that apparently there's talk of Amtrak rerouting at least some of their trains to Grand Central to ease up the.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
The load on Jersey Transit and Long Island Railroad.
Okay, so before we don't know shit about movies this week. This week was the television upfronts. So all the networks presented the shows they're renewing, canceling, and such. So Kevin and I each picked a show in each of the 3 categories. I don't know what Kevin picked. Kevin doesn't know what I picked. A show that we're happy that got renewed, a show that we're upset got canceled, and a show that got renewed but we felt shouldn't have been.
Yep.
So Kev, why don't you go? What show are you happy got renewed?
Show that I'm happy. Big Bang Theory, because I like it. And there was a lot of talk that the 10th season might be the last. So now they've got at least 2 more seasons. And the way this season ended, well, hey, it's probably better that there are some more shows.
The thing that I liked about the Big Bang renewal was the way they did it. Basically, is there were 5 original principal actors.
Yeah, they're all getting paid the same now.
No, the 5 of them were getting paid 1, and then Bernadette and what's her name? What's her real name?
Mayim Bialik.
Mayim Bialik and
Melissa Rauch.
Melissa Rauch were getting paid less because they came out later, and they wanted a raise. We're like, hey, we're just as part of this cast as too. So the 5,
the 5 guys,
the 4 guys, and it's 4 of them. No, 5 of them. Yeah, the 4 guys and Penny each took a pay cut so the 2 of them could get more money.
Right. Okay.
Which is cool. It's solidarity.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the things that I liked about the show of Friends. The 6 of them said, we're one unit, we get paid the same. And they actually helped, I think, Matt LeBlanc and Lisa Kudrow were not getting paid as much after the first negotiation. They said, we all get paid the same or we don't do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Look,
well, apparently they all actually legitimately like each other. So.
Yeah. So
they seem to like doing it.
The show I'm happy that's coming back is a little interesting. First it was canceled, and then it was uncanceled.
Okay.
It's timeless.
Okay.
It's actually kind of a cool show. The concept is they build a time machine, and somebody's going back to change the past, and they're trying to stop him from changing the past.
Yeah.
But the thing I liked about it is it actually does a really good job of history lessons. But the stuff they go into, they really go into detail of what should happen, how they're fixing it, and stuff like that, and they actually do a good job of that part. The whole drama stuff is cool too. And originally got canceled, and then the fan outcry, the day later they announced it was getting uncanceled.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good enough.
Yeah.
All right, so now what show are you happy is getting canceled?
Oh, no, that I'm upset is getting canceled.
Oh, that you're upset is getting canceled. Sorry.
I like the show Powerless.
Okay.
You know what that was?
No.
It kind of took place in like the universe of DC movies, and they were like they worked for this company called Wayne Security, and they tried to make inventions.
Oh, Wayne Security.
Yeah.
Gee. Yeah, all right.
And they made inventions to help people deal with supervillains, like average people.
Okay.
It was a stupid show. Alan Tudyk was in it, which is I like Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah. I know what yours is, but go ahead and say it.
What? Show that's upset that?
Yeah.
What do you think mine is?
2 Broke Girls.
Actually, yes. I'm not really all that upset. I mean, the show is kind of stupid, but it's a show that I enjoyed watching. So yeah, I'm kind of upset that they're taking it off. But hey, it's been around for 6 seasons, so
which in today's day and age, being around for 3 seasons is good.
Yeah. So also, the Goldbergs is being renewed too, but that apparently was a given.
Did you see the finale of that?
Yes. Most of it, anyway.
Did you see the end?
Yeah.
The scene with Barry and Lainey on the drive, that was like, I almost cried.
Yeah. Oh.
You know who directed that episode?
Yeah, Kevin Smith, which I was surprised about. I didn't realize that he had directed the Dynamic Duo episode.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No. I only found that out after
the Dynamic Duo was a perfect episode for him.
Yeah. All right, so, and then next is show that's coming back that you think shouldn't be coming back.
I'm going to go with Once Upon a Time.
I thought that was canceled.
No. So what happened was the show's first season was amazing. It was great. The concept is it's like fairy tales and it's a lot of Disney shit. Like, because it's on ABC, so they have access to these. They had like Frozen. They did all these different things, and the show like ended at a spot where it would have been a good series finale. Like the way they did it would have been great, but now 5 or 6 of the main characters are not coming back, and they're retooling the show to be based off of 3 characters, and I think like 20 years in the future.
Okay, then.
And they moved it to the...
So they're basically, it's a new show, but they're keeping the same title.
Yeah. And they moved it to the Friday Night Death slot.
Oh. Okay. So mine is actually, it was canceled, and then it got uncanceled for this season. American Idol. I'm just sick and tired of it.
Well, it's on a different network, too.
Yes, it's on ABC now instead of Fox.
Well, is Seacrest still going to be hosting it?
I don't know. I don't know if they've announced it yet.
Well, because he's now in New York. Because he's doing Live with Kelly and Ryan. Is it called Live with Kelly and Ryan now?
I assume so. I don't really know. He has a radio show that he does too, doesn't he?
I think he took over the Casey Kasem show.
Yes, that's what it was.
Is that still on?
I
don't listen to regular radio.
Yeah, me either. So I have no idea.
Let's see. Anything else from TV that was? I think the networks have gotten a little bit better with stuff. Like there was a show that was okay. It was called Time After Time. It was on. It was another time travel show. It was okay. They canceled it. I wasn't surprised.
Yeah. Weren't all that surprised that they canceled. What was it? It was the one with Jenna Elfman.
Oh, Imaginary Mary.
Yeah, that one. We watched some of the first episode of that, and we said, "Yeah, this is kind."
I liked it the first time when it was called Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah. That's essentially what it was.
I know.
I didn't like that movie either.
Was that Phoebe Cates?
Yes. Yes, it was. It was Phoebe Cates and some weird British guy.
I'm trying to remember. Was it like Eric Idle?
No, it wasn't Eric Idle. It was somebody that I never heard of.
And all my comic book shows are coming back.
Oh,
well, they moved Arrow to a different night.
Oh, did they?
You don't watch that. Do you still watch The Flash?
But, huh?
Do you still watch The Flash?
I never watched The Flash.
Supergirl.
I watch Supergirl. Yeah, we still watch that sometimes.
Do you think she's hot?
She's good looking.
I don't know. Not my thing. All right. So now that we've done TV, let's move to the thing everyone wants to hear.
Movies.
Movies
sure
or movies?
Wants to hear it? I said movies. Fool. All right. So we start off with Alien Covenant, starring Michael Fassbender, a.k.a. Magneto. Noomi Rapace.
A.k.a. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either. Catherine Waterston and Billy Crudup.
A.k.a. Jesus.
Ridley Scott returns to the universe he created in Alien with Alien Covenant, the second chapter in a prequel trilogy that began with Prometheus and connects directly to Scott's 1979 seminal work of science fiction. Bound for a remote planet on the far side of the galaxy, the crew of the colony ship Covenant discovers that what they think is an uncharted paradise, but is actually a dark, dangerous world whose sole inhabitant is the synthetic David, Michael Fassbender, survivor of the doomed Prometheus expedition.
I heard Prometheus wasn't very good, but this actually I heard looked pretty.
This could be good.
Yeah. And Ridley Scott is a pretty good director. I'm going to go fresh.
Yeah, I will go fresh on that.
Though I do think Alien prequel is something that we didn't ask for. You know what I mean? And I think Aliens is the better movie.
Yeah, I never saw either of them.
Really?
Nope.
Okay.
I was never that into horror movies anyway.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul, Jason Ian Drucker, Owen Astalos,
Yeah, something like that.
Alicia Silverstone,
And Tom Everett
and
Scott.
Tom Everett Scott.
Okay,
So you got
then.
Cher Horowitz and Shades.
Yeah.
A family road trip to attend Meemaw.
What is this? Is this Sheldon Cooper's life?
Oh, young Sheldon.
Yeah.
Meemaw's 90th birthday party goes off course thanks to Greg's newest scheme to finally become famous.
Okay, then.
That reminded me, there's two shows that are new shows I wanted to talk about.
Okay, I'll go rotten on that.
Yeah.
All right, we have Everything, Everything, starring Amanda Stenberg, Nick Robinson, Ana de la Reguera, and Taylor Hickson. Maddie, a teen, has severe combined immunodeficiency, a rare disease, or SCID, a rare disease that causes her to be allergic to practically everything. She spent 17 years hiding out in her home, only seeing her mother and her nurse, Carla. But when a boy named Ollie moves in next door, Maddie begins to fall in love. Aww.
Rotten.
Yeah, stupid teen movie. Okay, rotten.
Abacus. Small enough to jail. Tells the incredible saga of the Chinese immigrant Sung family, owners of Abacus Federal Savings of Chinatown, New York. Accused of mortgage fraud by Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus R. Vance, Jr., Abacus becomes the only U.S. bank to face criminal charges in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis. The indictment and subsequent trial forces the Sung family to defend themselves and their bank's legacy in the Chinatown's community over the course of a 5-year legal battle. Documentary, Greg.
Yeah, docu-cred. Okay. Champion, starring Gary Graham, Andrew Chaney, Robert Amaya, and Isaiah Stratton. Dirt track racer Sean Weathers was at the top of his game, an unstoppable career, scores of fans, and an adoring daughter. When a rivalry with another racer turns personal, the ego that propelled him to success causes a tragedy, sending his life into a tailspin. Didn't we already see this in the Ballad of Ricky Bobby?
Or Days of Thunder.
Yeah, Days of Thunder to some degree. Okay. Jack Reed was attempting to make up for past mistakes. He had prospered as a businessman, but failed as a family man. In a sudden turn of events, his chances for reconciliation are ripped from his grasp. Sean and Jack's lives collide, and an unexpected bond forms between them.
Dun, dun, dun.
Working through a painful journey of healing together, they each learned about second chances and the true freedom only forgiveness can offer.
Rotten.
Yeah. Just because I just don't like it. Okay, anyway.
Yeah. Fight for Space. Neil deGrasse Tyson, Jim Lovell, Story Musgrave, and Rick Tumlinson. I know who Jim Lovell is. I don't know who Rick Story Musgrave.
Yeah, I don't know who they are either. Anyway.
You know who Jim Lovell is?
Yes, I know who Jim Lovell is.
You saw
Apollo 13. Yes.
In the 1960s and 70s, the space race inspired a generation to pursue careers in science and technology. It's fun, you'll see. And then it all ended. Fight for Space looks at why this happened and reawakens our sense of wonder and discovery.
Documentary cred.
Plus, I actually kind of want to see that.
That does seem to be up your alley.
Yeah.
Okay. Paint It Black, starring Alia Shawkat, Alfred Molina, and Annabelle Atanasio. After her boyfriend abruptly dies, Josie, Alia Shawkat, becomes closer to his pianist mother, Janet McTeer. I don't even know enough about it, so rotten.
You're saying rotten because the name Black is in the subject.
No. Schmuck.
The Commune. Trine Derholm, Ulrich Thompson, Helene Reingard Newman, Lars Ronthe. Eric and Anna are a professional couple with a dream. Along with their daughter Freya, they set up a commune in Eric's huge villa in the upmarket district of Copenhagen. With the family in the center of the story, we are invited into the dream of a real commune. We participate in house meetings, dinners, and parties. It is a friendship, love, and togetherness under one roof until an earth-shattering love affair puts the community and the commune to its great test. This was in Israel. It would be called the kibbutz.
Well, yes.
And I'm going to go foreign film.
And if it was in New York, it might be called the Co-op.
I'm going fresh, foreign film grade.
Okay, I'll go with that. Last but not least, we have Wakefield, starring Bryan Cranston, Jennifer Garner, Jason O'Mara, and Beverly D'Angelo. Damn. Interesting cast. What would your life look like without you in it? Outwardly, Howard Wakefield, Bryan Cranston, is the picture of success. He has a loving wife, Jennifer Garner, and two daughters,
That's a weird couple.
a prestigious job as a Manhattan lawyer, and a comfortable home in the suburbs. Inwardly, though, he's suffocating. One day, something snaps and Howard goes into hiding in his garage attic. Leaving his family to wonder what happened to him, he observes them from the attic window, an outsider spying in on his own life. As the days of self-imposed isolation stretch into months, Howard begins to wonder, is it even possible to go back to the way things were?
Is this like sort of like a strange version of It's a Wonderful Life?
Maybe. I don't know. It sounds interesting, and I like the cast, so
Indie film cred.
I'll go fresh.
Yep, me too. It's a flickster. My young pal.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I'm older than you. Slightly. Granted, not by much, but...
Okay, Alien Covenant. 73% fresh.
Oh, Tay.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Rotten, 19%. Everything, 42%. Rotten. Wakefield, fresh, 79%. The Commune, fresh, 73%. Painted Black, fresh. We were wrong on that one. Abacus, fresh. The rest I have to look up. Champion. Champion is giving me an ad. No reviews. Fight for space. Well, not fight for space. Fuck you. No reviews. Bastards.
Dagnammit.
Yeah, and real quickly before we go, I just remembered there's 2 new shows that looked interesting. One was Young Sheldon.
Uh-huh.
Did you see also the trailer for The Orville?
No. What? I was trying to figure out what
Okay, basically the concept behind The Orville is this. Is Seth MacFarlane wanted to do Star Trek. Star Trek told him no, so he went out and created The Orville. It's basically like Galaxy Quest, but like with Seth MacFarlane. Like, apparently he becomes captain of a ship, and Adrian Palicki plays his first officer, who's his ex-wife. Okay. It looks hysterical.
But since when is Star Trek a comedy?
Well, he made it his own since he came to Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
Star Trek 4, Double Dumbass on You. That was funny.
What?
Exactly.
Right.
All right, so you can go on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play Music. Review us. Leave comments. We'll read them on the air. We promise. Please. Email us at dumbass@citizenho.com. Tweet us at CitizenHoPod. Instagram at CitizenHoPod. Facebook.com/CitizenHo. And that's it. I'm Scott. He's Kevin.
I'm Kevin.
Be excellent to each other.
Bye-bye.
Station.